What's going on, people? Welcome back to Blues Fans TV. Welcome back to another preview for you guys today. This is the big one, the one that we have been looking forward to for months. It's the second leg of the Champions League final. These are the sort of games where legends are created, where history is made, and Chelsea could be on their way to their third Champions League final in 15 years. Mayor of Kwaku, as always, to preview this game, check out the We Talk Football podcast if you guys haven't done so already. And the first place I think we can go to is, let's talk about our thoughts on Real Madrid from the first time we played them, because I thought defensively, especially in the first half, we were able to get at them. And I think, obviously, bad finishing came into play with the Timo Werner chance in the first half. But at the very least, we take an away goal into the second leg at Stamford Bridge. And if we can hold that lead, we're already through to the Champions League final. My only thing is, I don't know if we can take the first leg as gospel, because I thought we played a very defensive Real Madrid side who knew that they were missing a lot of their key players, and a lot of those same key players are now returning. We've got Sergio Ramos, who should be back, Ferland Mendy should be back, Eden Hazard starts on Saturday as well. So what do you initially expect?
It's going to be such a tough one, man, because obviously this is not the Real Madrid of, 4 or 5 years ago when they're on a pomp winning Champions Leagues back-to-back. But Zidane knows how to win big games, and that's the problem that we face, and that's what's really like in my mind with it. Because all Chelsea games since Tuchel's taken over, like almost every single Chelsea game, I'm supremely confident, maybe overconfident. This is the one game that I'm like, we've got a tough run in. Every game's a cup final, but this is the biggest one, man. Because for some reason in my head, I'm like, if we get over this one in the final, we're winning it. So this is going to be very, very tough. We don't know how they're going to line up. Obviously, we know they've got injuries. Varane's out, which is a major plus for us. We don't know if Eden Hazard's going to start. Obviously started for Real Madrid on the weekend. So I don't know how Real Madrid is going to line up. All I know is that we have to do our thing. We have to play how we've played in the previous big games where we've not allowed other big teams to sniff. So the way we played against Atletico, the way we played against Liverpool, the way we played in big games since Tuchel's taken over, we need to make sure we squeeze the life out of Real Madrid and nick a goal. But we need to be way more clinical than we were in the first game.
That's the thing that worries me. The front three is always going to be the biggest question mark. But I feel where I can rely on is ourselves defensively. I think even though we saw Azpilicueta kind of struggle to deal with Vinicius in the first leg, I feel like if we go into this game with a much more defensive outlook and we still stick to the same back five, I'd still be confident, because defensively I've never been too worried about us. Yeah, we did concede in the first leg, but Karim Benzema's a quality player. You give him a sniff, he's going to cause trouble. We saw that with some of the threatening chances he had in the first half, including the goal as well. So I feel like our biggest question is going to be keeping Benzema and Eden Hazard quiet. But with how good we've been defensively as individuals and as a system as well, that's also the area where I feel the most confident with us.
Yeah, no, 100%. Our defence can't be questioned. We had that blip against West Brom that nobody wants to talk about again. But apart from that, we've been absolutely solid. And the new back three, like, we thought that it wasn't possible for there to be a world where Christensen and Thiago Silva play in the same back three, but they look amazing together, man. So with Christensen coming to form in the second half of the season and Thiago Silva being Thiago Silva, having played at this stage in the competition last year, and then it's really for me, in terms of our defence, it's like, does Azpilicueta play? And if he does play, does he play right wing back, or does he slot into the right side of the back three? It's going to be a tough one, because we need Azpi's experience, but I don't know if I like him playing as a wing back. Well, I know he doesn't normally get as forward as maybe somebody like Reece James if he's playing wing back, but I just don't really like Azpilicueta in that position, man. So it's going to be interesting to see what Azpi plays and if he does play.
That's the thing, because Azpi I only want from a defensive perspective. I think if we tell him not to overlap, and we just keep him in as a second defensive option, keep him and Christensen occupying the left-hand side of the field, that could work to keep Eden Hazard quiet or to keep a Vinicius quiet. As a right wing-back, though, for the roles that you'd want a natural right wing-back to do in terms of bombing up and down, protecting the entire right-hand flank, helping out offensively as well, that's where I don't really trust him, because him coming back is always going to be a big question mark, because we know that's not really what he's best at. That's why you prefer him just sitting either in the right centre-back role or you prefer him as a full-back. Yeah. Defensively, though, that's where I can trust him. And if we go into the line-up, like, who would you want to see at right wing-back for this sort of game? Would you rather see a Reece James or an Azpilicueta? Because it all really depends on your approach. For me, if you want more attacking, you go Reece James. If it's more defensive, you go Azpi.
Oh, that's such a tough one, man. Like, I've made it clear that I love Azpilicueta. He's one of my favourite ever Chelsea players. But you know what? With this new back three of Christensen, Rudiger and Thiago Silva that blend so perfectly, and with the fact that I like my wing backs to be athletic and be able to get forward and back, I'll go with Reece James in this one, man. I'll definitely go with Reece James. What about yourself?
Reece James. Maybe it's just me, but I'm more pragmatic by nature, and I feel if we go into this game with a defensive outlook, I could see us keeping a clean sheet in this game. And a clean sheet takes us to a final full stop. We don't have to worry about anything else on the other side of the pitch. So for me, I think also because we have Eden Hazard that we have to deal with, I think he's going to come to Stamford Bridge and he's going to feel comfortable. This is his home. I think it's going to be the same sort of thing like I remember Didier Drogba saying in 2014, like he was in a rough patch of form in Galatasaray, came to Stamford Bridge for an away game. There was a training session here just before the game starts. They always have it at the ground. And everything just clicked perfectly for him because he's used to the surroundings. He knows where the goals are. His awareness is going to be top tier. So for me, I'd rather we go for the defensive outlook and I'd rather we keep Azpilicueta.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And I've not really even considered that because obviously, depending on if Eden Hazard starts or not, those kind of things are so important. When an ex-player comes back to an old team, like the surroundings are so important in terms of how familiar they are when it's like a snap second in terms of making a decision. He knows where things are in terms of periphery. So we are going to need to be more solid defensively, but I would just like to see Reece James start as right wing back. Just that's my preference. If I see Aspie there, I ain't gonna hate. I'm not gonna throw my toys out the pram, but I just want to see Reece James play there, and that's just my preference, really.
Reece James, Azpilicueta, you lot, let us know your thoughts down in the comment section as well, because there's going to be two different ways to look at this game, so I want to hear what you guys' approach are too. Let us know down in the comment section below. I feel like the only other real talking point we have is going to be the front three. Left wing back speaks for itself. I think with Kovacic still looking like a doubt, the two centre mid speak for itself, the back three speaks for itself, goalkeeper as well. Front three though, because a lot of people are thinking we should go for the same front three that we had in the first leg. I see the argument for it as well, but I also think after a performance like that from Kai Havertz, you can't really ignore it either. And this is what makes a question mark, because I also think Kai Havertz would get the best out of Timo Werner too, because they both understand each other's styles of play. I think my main thing, and this is going to be a controversial take as well, is that I think Timo Werner has to start regardless. I know his finishing is always going to be frustrating. I'm not defending it, like defending Timo Werner has been one of the hardest things to do this entire season, but I know what he brings to the team. His runs are ridiculously hard to combat with. They ain't going to have Rafael Varane as well. It's going to be Militao and Ramos, which means we can try and use that legwork against them, seeing as they will have to chase the game as well at some point. But it is also the question mark about the finishing. For me, my front three is, I go Kai Havertz in the mid. Here's the thing, because then you miss one of Mount or Pulisic. Mount can't get dropped, like he can't get dropped, but Pulisic after a performance like that in the first leg, and also the fact that we rested him too, he can't really get dropped either. So then it becomes Werner or Havertz. Oh man, Werner might actually have to get benched, you know, the more I'm thinking about. Kweku, what's your thoughts?
It's hard with Timo Werner because I've been an apologist. I have been for this whole season. I've been trying to convince myself that Timo Werner is the guy. Bro, let's be honest with ourselves. We're trying to give him different names. He's a false nine. He's an inside forward. We bought a striker, and we bought somebody to score us goals. As great as he is in terms of playing the ball across and providing great assists, we did not buy Timo Werner for assists. We bought a bagsman. Everyone's talking about goal contributions. The only reason why I talk about goal contributions is because the man's not scoring goals, so we want to lump in the assists with that as well. I understand that he's trying hard, he's not burying his head in the sand, but we bought a fucking goal scorer, and sorry for swearing, but it's got to a point now, Timo Werner, that I'm going to agree with you. He has to start this game, because you don't bring in Kai Havertz for what, 70 plus million, you bring Timo Werner in for what, 50 million, and you're in the Champions League semi-final second leg against Real Madrid. Those players have to play. Those players have to play, and it's put up or shut up. And if Timo Werner underperforms or misses gilt-edged chances in this game, I think that could be him done for a lot of Chelsea fans. But because we brought him in and because of his profile, because of what we're trying to achieve, Timo Werner has to start. Kai Havertz off the back of scoring 2 goals against Fulham has to start, and Mason Mount has to start. So my front three of those three, Mason Mount, Timo Werner and Kai Havertz.
So Christian Pulisic is the one that gets benched for you?
That's the problem. And like, we rested him against...
I told you Werner's dead, but you lot tried to roast me on the watch-along, but you know...
The man came from behind the camera for this agenda. I see, BA.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Tuchel's been screaming it. He has been screaming it. And I was in bed thinking about it. I'm like, yo, why am I making excuses for this guy? Like, I rate that he's coming out and he backs himself and he's not, like, he's kind of speaking his problems out in the existence and he kind of wants to talk his problems through. But he needs to be scoring goals, man. And this is the stage for it. It's a Champions League semi-final against Real Madrid. We're drawing 1-1. Go and make yourself a Chelsea legend, because this is where legends are made, like you said. But yeah, on the Christian Pulisic thing, it's a tough one, man. Like you say, he was rested against Fulham. His goal in the first leg was as a result of him not wanting to pass it to Timo Werner because he had missed a chance earlier in the half. So I feel like Pulisic will feel hard done by, but I feel like you have to go Mason Mount, you have to go Kai Havertz, and you have to go Timo Werner, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say that as well, but I understand we're thinking of 4 players who have to start and we've got 3 positions. Someone's getting let down.
Yeah.
Pulisic off the bench is also a great factor. Thomas Tuchel has said that amazing amount of times that he prefers him as the super sub option.
Yeah.
So that could be something we also see in the second leg. But guys, let us know what front three you guys want to see as well. That's basically our predicted lineup. We said the back three ain't changing. So that's going to be Christensen, Silva, and Antonio Rudiger, Edouard Mendy in goal, N'Golo Kante, Jorginho in midfield, and Ben Chilwell as the left wing back too. So guys, let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with any of our opinions for the players of the starting lineup. Let us know your score predictions as well. And we'll be back tomorrow for all the matchday footage surrounding Real Madrid versus Chelsea. Guys, it's the big one. It's either going to be one of the maddest matchdays on Blues Fans TV in history, or it's going to be depression sayings. One way or the other, we're going to find out, but let's hope it's Chelsea going to Istanbul. Smash the like and subscribe button to Blues Fans TV. Hit the bell notification button as well if you haven't done it already. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Up the Chelsea.